My name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope that you're able to get out in nature somewhere and go take a hike. Get out and just be careful, like you don't want to stir up any wasp nests or ground bees. Those are very dangerous, so you definitely want to look before you leap, especially going out hiking or anything like that. And I really inspire you to go out hiking, so don't let those things stop you, because it didn't stop Starlight. And anyway, I will be putting out a video, a very short video, on my hike the other day when I did find a wasp nest. So anyway, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome. And also is you could find me on YouTube, and that is Starlight. Plus you can on Starlight, Kathy with a K Dingman. And anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I have so many things to do today, and I'm like, woo! So anyway, whoops, I gotta just adjust this a little bit more. Is if you are new to my YouTube channel, like I was saying, welcome. And I hope that all of you are taking really good care of yourself. It's so vitally important that you do. And also, you could give my videos a thumbs up. And, whoopsie, is you can also share my videos with a cat, a dog, a bird. You have a beautiful bird. Like Starlight loves birds, but I love when they're out in nature where they're free. I wouldn't want to be a bird in a cage, absolutely not, or a fish in a fish tank, absolutely not. Like I enjoy my freedom. But anyway, is besides sharing my videos with your pets, you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, whoopsie, and don't forget to push the notification bell. I will ring the bell, and you can leave a message down below, beep, beep, beep. Plus, you can follow me on Instagram, and that's at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So anyway, I had a whole list of different topics that I am going to be making on videos, but I had to pick only one, one topic. So I decided to pick, have you ever played when you were a kid? I know some people are in different countries maybe that watch these videos, so maybe you never played this game. But when I was little, it was a big popular thing at a certain age. Kids go through this, is Simon Says, or even Follow the Leader. Those two, so those are two different games that Starlight played when I was a kid. So they were fun when I was a child. Where Follow the Leader is, it would be like where you have a leader, like Starlight's a leader, not a follower. Is you'd have one person in the front, and they are the leader. And whatever the person in the front of the, you would stand, everybody would stand behind the leader. And if the leader raised its arm up, you had to raise your arm up. If the person in front lifted up their foot, you would lift up your foot. If they jumped, you would jump, And so that was Follow the Leader. And Simon Says is, I'm going to just do this really quick with you, is say if I'm Simon and I tell you what to do, you got to do what I tell you to do. And if I say Simon Says, you got to do that. But if I just say jump, then you're not supposed to do that because Simon didn't say so. So that's how that game goes. So if I said, all right, Simon says, stick your tongue out. Simon says, itch your right ear. Simon says, clap your hands. Jump. You jumped. You didn't supposed to jump because I didn't say so. So it was a fun game where whoever, like was able to do what Simon Says without messing up, wins the game. Like if you just jumped when you were not supposed to because Simon didn't say so, Simon didn't say to jump, but you did, then you would lose the game. But if you were one of those children, and this is really a children's game, if you were able to just do what Simon said without responding when Simon didn't say something, like to say Simon says, then then you were the winner, that you listened, you followed directions, and you were such a good follower. So anyway, that is what this is about is, are you a follower or are you a leader? Are you leading or are you following? And it is kind of interesting is, there's a lot of followers out there, like, hey, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. So it is funny how this goes as far as like on the computer. Sorry. Starlight did really good. I woke up before my alarm clock. Yay. With the help of a deep diver out there. Thank you. Yes, did I do that? Yes, thank you. Because that's an area that Starlight needs help in. I have a beautiful deep diver out there that's always looking out for Starlight. And I got out of my bed right after my alarm went out. Pat on my back. So I do struggle with that. I don't even push the, the button that say, yeah, give me 5 more minutes. No. So I am doing much better about getting my ass out of bed. And anyway, as far as the follow the leader, there's so much said about that is, are you the one that is a leader, like guiding people in life? Or do you just follow what everybody else is doing? So you're either one or the other. Starlight is a leader. I've been like that even when I was in school. I was I was running my big mouth. I seen things that were not right, and I was a voice. Even though they put me in a special class, which really the kids called the retard class, I was the leader in that class. I was speaking up. I didn't agree with being put in this class separately. If anything, what I would agree to more was to, like, if you were going to put people like me in a special class, which the kids called a retard class, then have a special school just for them. That way, then they're all in that one school, and nobody would be picked on, and they could get the help that they needed. I definitely disagreed with putting me into a school and separating me from all the other kids, and being, called a retard my whole, most of my school time. So, so I was in that class, the special retard class. And what was Starlight running her mouth about? I was speaking up for our rights, at a young age. I was called a retard at home. I couldn't get away from it, because all the kids is like, there's something wrong with you, And so anyway, when I was put in that class, there was days, because I was going through some shit at home, that I would go to school, and I was like, you know what, this is not right. We should not be in this class. I was trying to let the kids know this is wrong. I needed to learn, and there's reasons why kids are like that. Sometimes they got so many problems at home, they can't even function or think in school. How do you expect me to think in school when there's so much going on at home, Or or they might be called slow learners. That's another title that they had. So somebody with special needs, those are different other titles, why people would put their kids, where they weren't keeping up with the other kids, like if they did put me in a regular class, I would have flunked the grades, because I needed special attention, to learn stuff. So Starlight started at a very young age, speaking up for my rights, speaking up for not just my rights, but the other kids in the class. So I was a leader in the very beginning of my time, but I never noticed it until recently, that I didn't realize. I'm like, wow, I was a leader when I was a kid, and my teacher, he was my favorite male, like he was my favorite teacher of all, in that class, because he was studying me and he was watching Starlight, and he didn't stop me from raising my voice. He let me be. He was studying me. He studied me as far as writing assignments, had me write. He knew stuff was going on at home, and so he was really, really such a great teacher. I would love to find him. He was such a great teacher, he put me, he put me in charge of stuff because he's seen something in me when I was a kid, so I really looked up to him, and it was kind of weird. I did have a crush on him, and so it is kind of funny is because I did kind of he was a married man with kids, but I was young. I didn't know any better, but I had a crush on him. He was a handsome, tall teacher, but what is the funny thing about this? This happens with kids, not just girls, but boys too, is that I did my very best because I did have a crush on him. I worked so hard. I was really trying to impress him with my handwriting, my writing, my stories, and, my grades. So I did. I really gave my all to show him, look at what Starlight can do. And here, I'm wearing my star necklace. My son gave me this for a gift one day. But anyway, and then later on, in church, I again was lifting up my voice. I seen stuff in church that was absolutely wrong, and I got attacked. I freaking got attacked. My whole family, my kids got attacked in this church. The pastor attacked, preached it, like the devil, just preached at us so hard and used the whole congregation to attack us, putting us up out front, using the members of the church as an audience to attack us, right away, things happened right away because I seen things that was wrong, that was not right in that church. And I opened up my mouth, because that's what God did this stuff. God put me in these positions, to lift up my voice, to be that voice to the people, to show them that this is wrong. When I was going in that church, what would Jesus do? Would Jesus beat his kids with a rod where it cut open their skin? So you got to really question things in life. Just because, everybody else is doing something doesn't mean that's right for you. And that's, this is why I have a YouTube channel, is to be a voice. The more I grow, the more I'm going to speak up about our rights. We need to, that was the one video that got deleted. I know I overdid it a little bit in that video, but I had one video that already got deleted because I talked about COVID, because I was talking about your voice, that you have a voice, that you need to use it, and that video got deleted. That's the only video that got deleted because somebody probably got offended, because they probably did get the injection and they were offended by what I was saying about that we have a voice and that we need to use it. With another virus, coming up, we need to stand up and use our voice, and, we have rights. The government is not supposed to be telling us, we, the people, what to do. We're supposed to tell the government what we expect. And it's all backwards. The whole thing is upside down, inside out, backwards. It's all twisted. The whole Matrix stuff, a lot of people think that what they think is a movie, which I thought was a movie too, the documentary of the Matrix, we are in a matrix. Some of you, like probably like, what is this chick talking about? It's because you have not woken up to that truth yet. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with me because I know something that you're not aware of. Absolutely not. There's a lot of things when I was younger, like when I was a kid, I didn't understand. Did it mean that it was not true? No. It's just because I wasn't grown to that, to understand that yet. So you might hear me say certain things and you might not comprehend those things, and that's okay. Because everybody is at a different level as far as growth goes. You might know something that I could be ignorant. Does it mean what you know is not true? It just means that I am not grown to that area in my life yet. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all have strengths and weaknesses, and there's nothing wrong with that. So don't judge me thinking that I'm nuts and crazy because you didn't understand a video that I made. It doesn't mean that I'm nuts or crazy. It means that I'm waking up and I'm seeing things different than you do. It depends on what you've experienced in life. Have you gone to church at all in life? Have you decided to, because we're in school, like I was learning that from a deep diver university, university, that we're being educated. First you go to, like a lot of people go to public school or they go to church school somehow or another where they're getting educated at a church, for school, or they're being homeschooled. So you learn different things on all those things. And my kids have gone, well, my son has gone to all three. I wanted to protect him. I did not want to send my kids to public school. Absolutely not. I am 100% against that. I want to protect my kids, from rotten apples, So if you love your kids, and I'm not saying you don't, you do. Your first duty is to protect them. Protect them from what? Protect them from bad influences, even not just at school, but at home with your friends and family, your husband, wife. Yes, I said that. Not just, you got to protect them from, the people out there. Yeah, it could be your husband, it could be your wife, it could be the mom, it could be the dad, but you got to protect them. Do you think that every mom and dad was meant to be a mom and dad, because they had a kid? Like it's easy, like it's easy for, not, I can't say it's easy, not all women can have babies, but the ones that have babies, just because they had a baby doesn't mean that they're going to be a good mom, right? Absolutely. Just because they were, I'm going to say this, you know, just because they were able to spread their legs and have a baby doesn't mean that they were meant to be a mom, So there's a lot of moms out there that had babies, but are they good mothers? Not all of them, So, and then you have other mothers that are overprotective. They're so afraid. They're too afraid. They're overprotected, and that you got to have balance. You can't be too overprotective, but you do want to be protected. And then there's the other side of this, is that where the mother is not protecting their children at all. She's not checking to see if the husband, the daddy, is being a good dad, or she might have got with somebody that's not even, a good fit for her to be a dad. And just because a guy can make babies, does that make him a good daddy? No. Just because he was able to have sex with that girl and got her pregnant, it doesn't make that he's going to be a great dad. Absolutely not. There's a lot of dads out there that are horrible. They don't even love their kids. I know, and it's sad. I know dads out there in my lifetime that they don't even call their kids up. They weren't even there when they were babies. They weren't there when they were growing up, when they were 7 or 8 years old. Even if they were not even with the child, they never checked up and see how their child was doing. They weren't, they might have been paying child support because the law forced them to do that. So, we have to, in this world, like to be in charge, be a leader, not a follower. And I know I'm kind of getting a little off track, but I do need to touch those topics anyway, is about, being a good example to your children and protecting your children. But, even as parents, teach your children to be leaders, not followers. Don't follow what everybody else is doing. In the Bible, it says, the wide way is the way to destruction. Just because everybody on the internet is doing certain things doesn't mean, you got to follow what they're doing. Be the change that you want to be in the world, to see in the world, is to stand out from all those other people. You don't have to follow what everybody's doing. And that's that's why the school is very dangerous, is because when your kids go to public school, they're going to follow what all the other kids are doing. They're going to follow what, their friends are doing. What kind of friends do your kids even have? Do you even know? Did you even get to know what what kind of friends your kids have? Or do you care? A lot, and that's what, I'll tell you what, being a parent is a lot of hard work. It is. It's more than what people think. They think, oh, this looks easy, and then when they get there, like my kids, they're amazed. They struggle being parents, and they're like, how did my mom do it? She didn't have a guy. They know. They were, I mean, I had men here and there, but I had to get rid of them. Why? They were not good. They were not good men. Boom, delete. Gotta delete you. You're not good for my kids. You're not good for me. You're not good for my health. Or the safety of my kids. So yeah, I was a single mom most of the time, so my kids are shocked. How did you raise me? How did you do this? You were out working, and you were taking care of us. You didn't have that good man that was there on your side to build in us and to be there. And they know the men that I was with, they were not good, fathers, or husbands, or if, I was never legally married, but, they were not good, and these days, society, I learned that when I'm really young. I was like, they wanted me to raise my kids a certain way. I was stubborn. I was like, freak you, these are my babies. I'm going to do what I want. If I want my kid to take a nap, I'll give my kid a nap. I wanted my kids to go to sleep at night. I wanted them to get tired through the day. I wanted them to be able to sleep good at night. I figured, hey, if my baby is tired and wants to go to sleep, it will go to sleep. Where I didn't want my child being raised like the way I was taught, and it's so much different these days than when I was having my babies, so things are way different. It is important to have like a schedule in the beginning or whatever when they're babies, but later on it's like you need to stay awake. I wanted my babies to stay awake, I wanted to spend time with them later on. When it's 8 o'clock, they're done, they're tired, they're sleeping through the whole night. So I didn't want people to tell me how to bring up my kids. And right now in my life, I don't want people telling me what I should do. I got people telling me, like, from the month of August to September, wow, people like, they hear what I'm doing, they don't like what I'm doing, they don't understand what I'm doing, and like, why don't you go do this? Why don't you go do that? Like I had people tell me, why don't you go to the government for help? And I had a man that I talked to on the phone, supposed to be like, I believe he's in the Catholic stuff, and, and I realize, just because somebody says they are a Christian doesn't mean that they are, so like if a person says that, oh, I'm a Christian, and, whether they go to Catholic or Baptist church or wherever they go, or even if they go at all, and I don't care if they do or not, because you don't have to go to church to be a Christian. Just because a person goes to church doesn't make them a Christian. And just because they're not in church doesn't say that they're not a Christian. You don't have to actually be in the church to be one. But, where I'm confused, where, you're claiming that you're a Christian, but I'm saying I am trusting and believing that God is going to supply all my needs. you know, and for a man to tell me, well, why don't you go to the government for help? You know, is that really trusting God that I'm going to just go to it's like going to the devil for help. Oh, well, God didn't help me, so I'm going to go to the devil for help? Freak that. You know, I'm not going to have, I had so many people tell me that in the month of August and September. And, you know, I had somebody actually tell me that 3 times, you know. I'm like, you know what, if I said no the first time, no. Do you think I'm going to do it the second or the third time? No, no, no. You know, we're good. God is going to supply all my needs one way or another. It's going to happen. But I have to work, you know, so don't follow the crowd, because that's where you're going to, you know, like, you know, that's where things are not going to go right, you know, because just because everybody else is doing it doesn't make it a right thing to do. Stand up on your own, decide on your own, really what do you want to do? Stop listening to what your mom wants you to do or what your dad wants you to do, what your kids, you know, like my kids are, you know, like in their 30s. You know, do I have to listen to my kids? No. I've been around longer than they have. You know, just because my kids might tell me something doesn't mean I have to, and that happens sometimes, you know, certain situations, you know, where you know, like I know, like, you know, certain times kids might tell their moms and dads what to do. Do you have to listen? No, you don't have to listen to your kids. Is my kids telling me what to do? I'm not going to tell you that, but really, I don't have to listen to what my kids tell me. I don't have to listen to what my mom and dad tells me, or my brothers or my sister. I really can't count her in, but you know, and people they'll see what you're doing, and they don't agree with what they're doing. So because of what they fear, you know, they will tell you what they think that you should do. Is it right or wrong? You got to decide. Is what they're telling you, you know, like people will tell you like who you should go out with, you know, like what kind of clothes. Churches are famous for this. Oh, you shouldn't wear that, you know, like they might even kick you out of the church if you wear certain clothes, you know, or they preach you out, you know, because you're not wearing clothes that they think you ought to wear, you know. So you know, what should you do? You got to figure this out. What do you feel in your heart to do? You know, like you don't have to listen to your mom, like I said, or your dad. You know, like maybe your husband might, you know, this is like a very topic, you know, a very different kind of topic. Now, to me, like one day I'm going to get married to my twin flame, my king, you know, he's my everything, you know, and for me, this is only for me. It doesn't have to be for you. But I desire to have a man that's going to be the head of the household, just like it says in the Bible. He is supposed to be the head. You know, I'm like, you know, like, but I heard a lot of jokes about that is, you know, like if he's the head, then I'm the neck. But, you know, I tell my twin, my husband, my king, you know, I want him to be in charge. You can't have two people in charge in the household. You know, you can't have where the girl is in charge and the guy is in charge. You have to have one. One person has to be the one. Just like where I rent here, you know, I have a guy and a girl that is like they're both my landlord, right? And it's something that I have to talk about is because one is the female is the one that owns, she's the ownership of this apartment. I rent the upstairs, half of the upstairs apartment. So with that, you know, on that note is who should I listen to when it comes to renting this apartment? Now the guy does not own this apartment. So if he tells me what to do, you know, and this is why it's so important that you have to decide on who's going to be in charge in a relationship as far as marriage or boyfriend or girlfriend, especially marriage, because that is a definite, you know, like, hey, you know, we are committed to each other, boyfriend, girlfriend. You don't know if that's going to actually last or work, even in marriages, you know, which is a shame, you know, because people do change and grow and stuff like that. And, you know, hey, maybe it worked in the beginning and then you grew and changed and then like, hey, this is not working for me anymore. And that's good. That's good. And I say it's good because, you know, you need to make sure you're in the right relationship, whether you're married or not. If you have to leave somebody because you're not in the right relationship, that is okay. Because God wants you to grow. If you're not growing with that person and they don't care to grow, then you might have to break up with that person and say, hey, I love myself so much and I want to grow, and you're hindering me. You're drinking, you're smoking, and you're doing drugs, and I am wanting to better myself, and that is absolutely 100% okay. But where I live, this just did happen, is that, where, like, I can't have both of them tell me what to do, because I did bring this up. It's like, well, he said this, you know, and she's like, well, he's not the owner. Well, then, really, she should be the one telling me what to do, because now who's going to really know what has been said or not? So, it's really taking responsibility, like I can't have two people in my apartment telling me what to do. It really is best to just have the one that actually is the owner. I can't, it's a two-headed monster to me, because legally wise is really the one that's owns this apartment should be the only one telling me, and that's how it was the whole time until recently. So, okay, now who am I supposed to listen to? The owner. So what the guy says, I don't have to listen to any of that. He's not the owner. Even if he wrote a letter or wrote like something, and what he says has nothing to do with with me. So even with a couple, is there's got to be a leader in the house. And to me, I desire to have my twin flame, my husband, to be the leader, to guide me. Now, if my husband that I so much love and care for, and I know he cares so much for me, he protects me. So say if I wanted to have somebody to come and visit at the house, but he sees that they're not good. I trust him enough to let him tell me that no, I don't want that person in this house because they are not good. They're not good for you, and they're not good for this family. He's going to have good judgment on this person. So I'm going to trust in his guidance of leading me and guiding me in this relationship. So not every woman or man is going to agree with this, but that's okay. I want the man to be the head of the household. If I had kids that were living into the house, his job is to protect us. There might be kids coming in my house if I was, like married and I had kids with him, and, the kids could be bad kids, or, and he could say, I don't want these kids in the house. I got to listen to that because he's here to protect me. And you know what? Does that mean that he's always going to make the right choices? Maybe not. But you know what? It doesn't matter. The matter is that you got to have just one person be in the head, because it's something where he can grow, and I can't be that kind of wife that says, you messed up. You know that's not my place. My place is to trust him fully, that he is gonna, and he has been so good in my life, even though I have not met this man yet, is that he has been so good on guiding me and directing me and being that protector, and helping me to grow. And that's exactly what I desire. And here Starlight is the type of girl that says, you know what? I want you to tell me what, tell me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. Don't hold back. Please, I need help. Don't hold back. And you know what? He's amazing. He doesn't hold back. That's the kind of man I desire. A man that's not going to tell me what I want to hear. A man that's going to tell me what I effing need to hear. I need the hard truth. I need a guy that is going to be there and see flaws, and that he cares so much about me that he's there to he doesn't fear losing me. That he will speak up and use his voice and tell me what I need to hear instead of what I want to hear. That's the kind of man I desire. because I do want to grow. I want to become my greatest version. I want to be the change that I want to see in the world. So, there's a lot of times women these days are a lot different. They want to run the house. They want to wear the pants, but that's not what the Bible says. The Bible, and I love God, and that's what, I agree with that. I've been like that my whole life. I have never ran a man in my life, and I never plan on running a man in my life. Like the only one I ran is because my kid was a boy, that's it. But I don't tell him what to do now in his life, and I never plan on it. I can guide, but I'm not going to tell my kid how to run his life. That's his own path. So we need to really figure out, so with a husband and wife relationship, there is a leader. He is, I am a leader too. We both can be leaders, but in different roles. Like I can lead and go out and help community out and be a teacher to help people, to show them, a good way to live, to help them to become that change that they want to see in the world, to lead, to teach, not to control, not to force, and that's how this world is that society is like, with COVID, they were trying to force people to take that injection. If you don't take it, then we're going to punish you. That's wrong. This is our bodies, and we need to, nobody knew what was in those injections, the side effects, and then there's more studies on that side effects of that injection, so, this is your body, this is your life. And like I said, we're supposed to tell the government what to do. The government's telling us, and they love it. They're telling us what we can do, what we can't do, and we really, as the people, we need to put a stop. We need to be a voice. We need to use our voice that God gave us. Use your voice while you have it. There's another video coming up. I'll tell you, I couldn't believe my ears. I couldn't believe it, but man, it's another topic coming up related to this. Don't, I'm not going to say anything about it, but are you, letting other people run your life? Are you letting your mom, decide on who you ought to date? And this is what we do a lot of times. I've been guilty. Is a lot of times we might meet somebody and we're like, yeah, I want to get involved with this. And I've done this, I really love this person here. And so we look for permission from other people, see how they're going to respond to what we say. And then, some people will say something. Some people, when they don't say anything, that's still saying something, even though they don't say anything. They're not saying, oh, yeah, I think that guy is cool, or yeah, go for it, Starlight. Where I could say, oh, yeah, I'm in a higher love with this man, and, when they don't say anything, that's almost like they're saying no, but they're afraid. They're afraid to even speak up and say what they really want to say to you, so they don't say anything at all. So that's a bad indicator. But, and that's why it's so important that you are the leader of your life. Unless you're like I was saying, if I'm in a relationship with a man, I want him. I am, because if I didn't trust him, that's the whole point of this, ladies. I love all of you. If you don't trust him, then you're not going to want him to lead. You should trust him. And guys, be responsible. And that's where this is where it hits. A lot of times guys don't want to be responsible. They're afraid of the women. A lot of times, believe me, I've been around this a lot in my life. A lot of times the guys, I love you men, I love all of you, they are afraid to speak up and really say what's on their heart and mind to the women that they are in love with, because they feel like they're going to get punished in so many different ways. But you know what? What I want to let you guys know, if you use your voice and you do this in the right, correct way, and you let your ladies know, I care for you, they have to trust you. If they don't trust you, there's an issue there. They have to fully trust you. And if they fully trust you, then they will give you that position that you're supposed to take. But men have to take that responsibility some guys, they don't want to take that responsibility, and that's why they let the women actually do the controlling part. Not that they're controlling, but to be the leader in the house, to be the provider, to be the protector, that they're supposed to be. To me, the men should take care, make sure, the bills are taken care of. Make sure all that stuff, like the ladies should be taking care of the children and, the things in the house. There's chores that can be split up with both, but the kids ought to be taught like how to do stuff, so then it's not all on the mom, and the dad, and dads need to participate in the chores at the same time. There's different chores for the guys to do. Is it wrong for a guy to do dishes? Absolutely not. Is it wrong for the lady to go take the garbage out? No, absolutely not. But train up the children the way that you want them to go. And, when they get older, they will keep on doing that. You got to train up the children. Train up the girls and boys to take the garbage out. Train the girls and boys to do dishes. Train the boys and girls to cook. They're going to need to learn how to do that. Teach the boys and girls how to fix things. Teach the boys and girls how to clean a house. It's not just the women, because if the guy is starting out on his own, he's going to have to learn how to clean the house, right? He's going to have to learn how to do the laundry. He's going to have to learn how to cook for himself, right? You don't want him always doing microwave food or going out to fast food places. That's going to kill him later. A lot of that fast food or overeating when going out to restaurants all the time. They need to have the balance of all. So I love my twin flame and my husband, my king. Like, it's kind of weird. I'm like, please, I need help right now. I trust you with my life. And, please, tell me what I need to do in this situation. I trust you enough, to guide me, to help me through this. He's spiritual, more spiritual than I am. He's beautiful. So I am trusting him to give me what it is that I need in my life to guide me and help me, because I do. Like I am like putting my pride down and saying, hey, I need help. And he's the man to do it. He's the guy. So women, you got to trust the guys that you're with. If you don't, maybe you're in the wrong relationship. You got to trust your husband, and, that he's going to protect you. His job is to really make sure the right kind of people are coming in your house, the right kind of company. Maybe you're drinking too much, and don't punish the guys. They're going to, maybe he makes a mistake, but that's okay. That's something that he's got to learn. It's not our place to say, I told you, I knew you were going to, it's not our place to run our mouth. That's where we got to bite our tongues. Like, so what? We're not perfect. Women are not perfect. Absolutely not. Men are not perfect. They're going to learn. They're going to learn. Let them have that position that they, instead of putting all that responsibility and stress on you, he is the one that's supposed to have that responsibility to provide for the family, to protect the family, and you might get upset, but it's, he wants to keep the family safe. Maybe your brother that comes to the house is a bad influence on the kids, and he's like, you know what, I really don't want your brother to come here anymore. And you might have a fit, you might get upset, but his job is to protect you and the kids. So you're not going to agree to everything that your husband wants you to do, and that's okay. It's just that's if you, because he's there, as long as you got a good husband, they're not all husbands are good. Not all wives are good. So, these days the women are trying, they're controlling the men, and it's not really their place. And I know a lot of you might get upset for what I'm saying, but study the Bible. Study what the Bible says about what God, God does have the husband be the head of the household. Right now, I am the head of the household because he's not here with me. Of course, I want to be living here, so who are you having lead you? Are you the leader or the follower? You got to be careful of who's telling you what to do in your life, Is your brother and your family's telling you what to do? Are you following the crowd? Please don't follow the crowd. You know, don't follow what everybody else is. If everybody is doing that, I'm running over here and doing this. I'm like, that's what they're doing, I'll do this. You know, I'm going to do the opposite. You know, I don't need to follow what everybody's taking the injection. No, no, I don't need to. You know, number one, I don't trust it, you know, because nobody knew what was going on with it, you know, so, and it's my body. I've been on many medications that had lots of side effects. One of the side effects that I had is that my lip, because of a medication that they were putting on, would move around by itself, you know, some kind of nervous condition. And the other side effect that I had, which is scary, is I would be in my car, going in the back. I would open up the back door of my car, and I would bend over trying to grab stuff. That I always do this every time I park my car. I'm grabbing my stuff to bring it in the house, and I bent over and I couldn't get back up. You know, when you go back through some horrible, there's worse side effects than that. You know, I've had side effects that made me feel like a zombie. You know, why would I want to go rush out there and take an injection that I had no clue, you know, what the injection was about, what any kind of medication. That's why it's so important to ask your doctors what are the side effects. You know, I need really to take, is there a different way? You know, sometimes there's herbs that we can take or change our diet around, you know, or work on ourselves instead of taking that kind of stuff. Protect your stuff, you know, yourself. You know, get your immune system high up so you don't have to take the injection or something, you know. So anyway, I'm not here to talk about COVID. But I'm here about like being a leader, not a follower, you know, like don't follow the leader, you know, because you know, like the other thing I wanted to bring up really quick before I go is even when you have kids, this is interesting. When you got little ones, even when the big ones, you know, when you start off and say you have a child that is like no, actually, we'll say 6 years old. And then no, we'll say 4 years old. You got a 4-year-old, right? So they're doing certain things, you know, and then you get a baby, right? And then, so now you got a 4-year-old and then a 1-year-old. So what is going to happen? That oldest one, now the 1-year-old is going to be, you know, should be walking around that time, you know, where the little one is going to always follow the big one. So, you know, in that case, what you always want to do is when you have kids, you always want to make sure you definitely make sure you correct everything with the oldest. The oldest gets the worst, really, I think, is that the oldest, because if you control the oldest one, make sure that one is behaving the correct way, then the other ones are going to follow. So if you let the oldest one do whatever it wants and then you're beating your child, that's the little, you know, there's some people that do that with their kids. They're beating the little ones because they're doing some bad stuff, you know, because they're following the oldest one. And, you know, you definitely want to control, you know, and I'm not saying to beat your children at all, absolutely not, but there's people that do that. They get mad and they get upset and they freak out. Sometimes you can see this out in public, the way they act out in public. You like, oh boy, that was not good. I wonder how they do things at home. If they're acting like this out in public, you know things are going on at home. You know, when you do, if they're behaving that way out in public, you know, it's a bad indicator what's going on behind the closed doors. But you really want to control that oldest one, because then the little kids are like, wow, I'm going to follow everything that older one is doing. So you want to, and he's the leader. And the other ones are following the leader. They're going to follow, you know, because it's normal. It's normal for them. They're going to look up to him and, hey, he's walking, I'm going to walk, and hey, he's talking, I'm going to talk. Oh, he's doing that, or she, you know, is going to do it. I'm going to follow and do that. I used to do that with my brothers. My brothers went out and did some bad stuff, horrible stuff, and my dad told me throughout my life I would have been a really good girl if I didn't follow my brothers. I did. I could have followed my sister around. You know, she was younger than I was, and she was handicapped and blind, you know, but I did learn stuff from her. Just that my brothers went and did this, you know, really bombs and, you you know, all kinds of weird stuff that I was learning. How to make a bomb. You know, it's like weird. So Starlight was learning how to do this, how, you know, not all things were bad, but I learned a lot of bad stuff from my brothers, and I followed them, and because they were older than me. So anyway, I know this is a long video, and but I do love you. Is that you really want to be a leader, not a follower. You know, you you know, like I do love you, and I know not all of you are going to agree to the husband and wife bit, but sometimes people are not going to agree because they don't want to take the responsibility to be, or to speak up and say, you know what, I'm going to take over. This is my job, you know, and ladies, we got to let go. Let the man be the leader, you know, be the, you know, the one to lead in the family. We can't have two leading. It's a mess. It makes things a mess. And I've known relationships in my past, you know, where they were both dominant. You're going to have war. That's what you're going to get, war. You know, who's going to be in charge, who's the one, you know, and, you know, that's how that goes. You're going to have a problem, big problem. So anyway, I do love you. You can give this video a thumbs up. You could share my videos with a cat, a dog, a beautiful butterfly, and also you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can push the notification. I don't ring it too loud because people might be sleeping still. And you can also leave a message down below, beep, beep, beep. Plus, you can follow me on Instagram, and that's at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. And yeah, be the leader. Don't let everybody tell you what to do. You know, it's your life. You got to decide on what. If you don't know what is right or wrong, ask. And this is what I do. I do this all the time. I ask for guidance. I ask for directions from my archangels. And you gotta be patient. You gotta check that video out I made, and lots of people have. I always send them to that video. That's the most important video that I can think of, is Are You Searching for Guidance? You know, and it does. It tells you about the numbers and dreams and all that stuff. It's so vitally important. And you gotta do the homework, though. You can't look up, you know, write the numbers down and not do the work, because then that's when you're going to lose information, and that's when you're going to make the wrong choices because you did not do the work. And I know that because it happens to Starlight. Is if I get the numbers repeatedly, like yesterday, wow, you know, 5 times I got the same number over and over again, because you know, I was sitting there like, you know, twiddling my thumbs, whatever, you know, like, and boom, you know, the answer was right there. You gotta be responsible enough to check those numbers out. I am not crazy. I'm just waking up. Anyway, this is a long video. This is, I love all of you. I only want the best for you. I want you to be happy. I want you to be able to get those desires of your heart that you really want. And anyway, this is Starlight, love and light. Peace.